Hey, I'm glad you're with me today because today I'm going to be talking about how you can get the most out of your Zoom meetings. So, as you know, for the past 8 months, a lot of us have been working remotely, and a lot of my client work actually, a lot of it, if they were out of town, was remote anyway. So, it's nothing new to me. However, a lot of companies have had to figure out how to work remotely, how to get their employees just as engaged, going through a video screen as they were if they were face to face in a team meeting. And a lot of companies are finding that productivity is still just as high, if not higher. And a lot of companies are now actually getting rid of some office space. I've seen this in my own town where businesses are now closing down some offices. If they've got multiple offices, they're closing down one of them. So with that, today I wanted to really talk about how you as a boss can get the most out of your Zoom meetings, get your people engaged, get them asking questions, getting them paying attention to what you are trying to communicate to them. And so this is why I'm actually decided to do this video, because I am seeing things just in videos themselves, on people doing interviews on TV, and it's just driving me crazy. So I thought I would share some tips on how you can get the most out of your Zoom meetings. And with that, let's get started. Hey, I'm Dr. Heather Williamson with the Transformation Group, and today I'm going to share with you 6 tips that you can use to get the most out of your Zoom meetings. And the first is lighting. Lighting is really important. So simply investing in a ring light would be key. If you don't want to invest in a ring light, and they're actually really pretty darn cheap. I mean, it's $100 or less. And if you don't want to do that though, you can also put a light near your face on your desk. One also to consider when you are, having a light is if you have an office where the window, kind of is behind you, do not do your video meetings this way. Don't do your virtual meetings, because think about when you take a picture and you're like maybe taking a picture of a family member or a pet or, whatever, and you're doing it in the sun. What happens is that person or that figure becomes a silhouette, and then they're not seeing your face at all. And your people want to see your face. So don't video conference in front of a window. And also keep in mind that if you are using a light, that's great. If you're not using a light, you're kind of creating a shadow across your face, and you don't want a shadow. You kind of want it to be as bright as possible. And I actually have some really good news. So if you're not going to invest in a light, Zoom has a feature that you can use that will make you look really good. And so I wrote this down because I don't want to mess it up for you guys. So if you actually go into settings, click on video, and then turn on touch up my appearance, you can then have a lighter lighting done kind of automatically through Zoom to make yourself look better, kind of soften your features. So that's always good because, on camera, we kind of want to look good. So that is a way to do it. Also, a second tip for you guys is background is really important, and it should not be distracting. So I know Zoom has some backgrounds. I know they've got the Golden Gate Bridge, but I will tell you, when someone has that behind them, I'm looking at the Golden Gate Bridge and not the person. So I'm kind of looking at all those little features. So when it comes to background, try not to sit in front of a bookcase, especially if you've got lots of books on it, because your eye may tend to want to read what titles books you have on the bookshelf. And you really want that focus attention to be on you. And so make your background kind of simple. Like I have a light right here. I do have one book, which is the book that I wrote it, which is a bestseller. But I have that because I want to highlight it. And I have flowers as well. And I'm sitting behind, beside a piece of furniture. So if it's the background could be just a piece of artwork, it could be a picture, or it could just be a blank wall. Just make sure that the attention is on you, the speaker, the person facilitating that team meeting. All right. The third tip that I want to share with you guys is make sure that your camera is at eye level. So many times, and I've seen this where the camera, because the way you've got your laptop positioned, it could be that your camera is looking up, and it ends up being looking up your nose. And I'm telling you, no one wants to look up your nose. It was so funny because yesterday I was watching the news and they had the CEO of Newsmax on speaking about the topic. And basically, the camera, the way he positioned his laptop, was looking up his nose. And I'm like, I can't even watch that. So make sure that your camera is eye level. Make sure that you are looking at the camera and not the picture of yourself on your screen, because you're trying to build trust. I mean, it's really hard to get that engagement and build trust when you are working remotely. It is, because people need that face-to-face. They feel more comfortable when it's face-to-face in person. But since that's not an option for a lot of companies, then you need to make sure that you are looking into the camera. And it needs to be eye level, not, looking down and not looking up. So if you need to stack your laptop on some books, then do that. It's funny because on my desk, it's like two levels. And so whenever I have a Zoom meeting, I actually put it up on the second level. So it is directly eye level to me. And I'm not, it's not showing the ceiling as well. So keep all that in mind when it comes to positioning. Make sure it's eye level and you're looking directly into the camera. All right. The fourth thing that I want to tell you, the fourth tip, is Zoom chat. So I like Zoom chat. Now, Zoom offers the chat opportunity. It's a great way to share information, especially quick little tidbits. Make sure, if you're talking about it, you can even state the same information in the Zoom chat so it's not missed. It's a great opportunity to have your people ask questions as well. It's it's a way for you to make sure that everybody's on the same page, especially if you ask, hey, did y'all get this? If you did, type in yes or give you the thumbs up. And then that is reiterating that, in a way, two-way communication, that they understand what the information that you're conveying and that you think is important for them to take note of. So Zoom chat is a great tool for that. One other thing that is really important that Zoom offers, which is number 5, which is breakout rooms. So I recently, within the last month or so, had the opportunity to participate in a breakout room, and I thought it was fantastic. And I'm speaking actually at a group. It's going to be a virtual speaking engagement, but I'm speaking to a group in January, and I'm going to have breakout sessions. And so how a breakout session works is you can either predetermine how you want your people broken out into different groups, or you can have them self-select based on topics, whether it's like a marketing topic or a sales topic. But this is the way, because you've got everybody, if you've got a big team, you've got everybody together in the beginning. And then if you have, let's say, a project that you need to break out to your people based on how they're working on the project, then you can create a room for that. And then make sure, though, that you have a facilitator facilitating the discussion, and have someone kind of transcribing what it is that they're talking about, and maybe some action steps that are coming out of the team breakout room or the group breakout room. And this is a great way to facilitate more engagement with your team, and also to get some work done. It really is. And one other thing to keep in mind is when you are having these team meetings is you have the mute and unmute function in the Zoom. So you can either mute it and be the lead, relegate that to yourself in the very beginning, or you can have your people mute and unmute themselves. So I don't know about you, but sometimes I struggle with, having to find the mute and unmute button when I'm getting ready to want to say something. So here is a little tip that Zoom offers that you may not be aware of. if you can actually mute and unmute yourself without having to find that little button on the screen. And the way to do it is with your space bar. So if you hold down your space bar, you can actually talk, and then once you lift up, you release the space bar, then you go back to being muted. And how to set this up on your computer in advance, I wrote it down for you guys so I wouldn't mess it up for you guys. And that is to go to settings, go to audio, and then click on enable mute my microphone when joining a meeting. The cool thing about this feature is that it also takes up less bandwidth if that is an issue for you guys. So that is really cool. So breakout rooms, a cool way to break your larger team into smaller groups and to get back with discussing the results afterwards. And it's a great discussion point opportunity. And then the 6 is the option of sharing your screen. So I sit on a board, and every time we have a board meeting through Zoom, because we kind of have to right now because where we used to meet isn't an option. And when we do this, the secretary actually shares the screen and shares the minutes. And so we're able to go through the minutes in a way that is structured, and the focus is very specific. So you can do the same thing on project reports or spreadsheets or board meeting minutes, like I said, or even your agenda. So you know that everybody's on the same page. Share your screen. Your chat bar is always open, and that also creates an opportunity to ask questions as well. And if your group is small, then you can let them have control of the mic, and then they can ask questions that way, and you can respond. So those are my 6 tips, and I will recap for you right now. The first is to focus on lighting, because lighting is really important. So invest in a ring light. If not, then just you have a lamp or something close by. Second is your background should not be distracting, because you want the focus to be on you. The third is camera should be at eye level. You're speaking into the camera like you're speaking to a person. All right. And then the fourth is Zoom chat, the ability to Zoom chat and use that as a tool to engage. And then the fifth is the breakout rooms, which is a huge way to break your teams into smaller groups that can be a little bit more effective and productive when it comes to specific topics or discussion points. And then the 6th is the tip to share your screen if you want to keep your team focused on one specific thing. All right. Hopefully you found those tips very useful and will be able to use them if you do have Zoom. If not, check your own platform that your company may use. I know there's several of them out there. I know when I have meetings for other companies, I tend to use whatever they have, and they send me the link. So keep that in mind as well. They might have similar functions. So with that, I hope you found, again, this video with some value. If you did, like below. Don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to share. And if there are other topics that you want me to address and help you in your whole leadership role, then feel free to tag it below as well. And now I want you all to go out and be the boss that your employees want to work for. All right. Bye, guys.